See, folks, we have to stop seeing any of this. A lot of people will think, oh, because you're against the police, this is a leftist approach. No, it is not. It's not a left-wing or a right-wing approach, folks. That's your mental schism that is in the way of seeing truth because of the religious divide, the psychological, the occult influenced and set in place by the dark occult, psychological polarization, division that you yourself have fallen prey to. Do not attribute those qualities and characteristics to me. Don't tell me I lean left or right. It's all a bullshit illusion, and I've said it so many times, someone could puke at how many times I've said it. And I'm tired of being accused of it because you're a know-nothing and you want to insist you know where my mindset is at. Don't fucking tell me where my mindset is at. You know nothing of my mindset at all. It's the exact other way around. I know just about everything there is to know about the people who control your mindset and their methods. You don't understand those tactics if you fall into the bullshit divide of politics. So don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. I know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. It's you who lack knowledge. It's you who lack understanding. And I'm not some, person who's going to just sit back and let people tell me what I know. You don't know what I know, quite frankly. And guess what? I'm talking to some of the listenership out there, some of my actual viewership. You're not exempt from this. It's mostly the dumbasses that are out there in the public who happen to catch a show or two, But let me tell you something, folks. My own viewership is not exempt from this. A lot of you are still politically leaning and don't understand. Please switch back over to the slides, that it's all a goddamn cult. All of it. That's all it ever has been. That's all it ever will be. Politics is a dark, occult, religious cult. That's all politics is and ever has been. And guess what, folks? If you don't think so, you're just wrong. That's it. You're just wrong. I don't need to justify it. I don't need to explain it any further than I have. You are just incorrect if you don't understand this slide. There is no such thing as being on one polarization side or another and having your worldview aligned to truth. Because if you agree with either side of the political divide, you're in a cult. You're in a cult belief system. Okay? Just because I talk about how sick the left are and how we're moving into communism, people just don't understand. The dark occultists control both sides, and then they float both sides out to the public, and they see which is more popular, and then they run with that which is easier to sell to the public. That's all that's happening here. That's why we're turning into a communist nation instead of a national socialist one. What do you think? They don't all end up at the same place? They have very similar methods. They all take you to the same place. They just start with a little bit different premise and have a slightly different methodologies. As a matter of fact, most of their methodologies are very similar and not dissimilar. And they all take you to the same totalitarian prison. It doesn't make a difference what flavor the slavery has, folks. It's still slavery. All right? So this show, this whole podcast series has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with siding with Democrats, with siding with Republicans. This is why when people hear me say I'm anti-communist, oh, I must be a right-winger. When people hear me say I'm anti-police, oh, I must be a left-winger. No, it's you who doesn't know what the fuck you're talking about. Okay? You're still in mind control. You're still under mind control. You're still involved in a cult. In a cult. And I'm not going to say it nicely anymore to people. Okay? I'm going to try to back it up and take it down a notch and just explain it. But let me tell you something right now, folks. You're not going to tell me what my worldview and understanding is. Quite frankly, you don't fucking know me and you don't know what I know. Okay? And I think I'll leave it at that and try not to keep really being vicious about that. But folks, I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of singing it. I try not to play into the drama, but I'm going to state it publicly. Nobody's going to tell me what I understand about this. And guess what? You're not going to tell me you're right when you're fucking wrong. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about if you still side with the left or the right. If you don't understand this is about consciousness and it's manipulation and drawing people into cult beliefs, none of which are true. Zero of which are true in point of fact reality. You're not going to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about in this regard, because I absolutely do. It is you who are mentally flawed. It is you who have not taken enough information into yourself and done enough work upon yourself internally. So I'm not going to let some know-nothing little punk boy or girl who hasn't grown up psychologically or spiritually tell me as a psychological adept that I don't know what I'm talking about. And no other adult should. And guess what? The problem is people don't get up in other people's face enough. No, it's not. We shouldn't be just, oh, tender and oh, baby, let me give you the little spoon feed of. No, I'm not doing that. You know why? I'm the adult in the room. That's why. A child isn't going to dictate to the adult. You got that? A child's not going to dictate to the adult. Yeah, I'm not going to allow it. You're not going to do that to this one. You might get away with it to other people, but you ain't doing it to this one. All right? You don't know what I've gone through. You don't know what I've studied. You don't know what I know. You don't know how obsessively I've studied it to know it. And you're just wrong if you think otherwise. So let's get it cleared up once and for all, dumb fucks out there. Okay? This isn't a political show. This is a show about consciousness and the occult and mind control and natural law and what is happening on this planet regarding human freedom versus human slavery. And politics has nothing to do with it. It's a fucking cult, and it always has been and always will be. So let's clear that up once and for all. Okay? When people ask me why I'm not going to wear a mask, you're not putting a mask on my fucking face or body. It ain't happening. You'll face physical repercussions if you try. I own my body. I'm not your fucking slave. The end. How about that? Try to do it and see what happens. You won't like the result. That's called self-ownership and the deep understanding of sovereignty as an individual. Why I'm not wearing a mask? You don't need to know anything except I don't join cults or participate in their fucking rituals. That's it. That time period is long past me, ladies and gentlemen. That's how I learned what I know, quite frankly, is that I was in the cult that runs the world. I was in the cult that owns everybody in the world, or claims that they do. And guess what? They actually do, because of how much control over their own minds people have given them. So I learned my lesson a long time ago. I don't join cults, and I don't participate in their rituals.